What's up, it's Cinema Shogun here, and just when you thought that things could not get any worse out in East Palestine, Ohio, they do. In fact, we are now looking at what I would call the worst case scenario for East Palestine. Now, I'm not sure how many of you all know this, but over the past couple of weeks, Norfolk Southern has been coming in and building these makeshift dams. These makeshift dams they're building to block the toxic water from seeping into other waterways, okay? Now, I'm not there on the ground. I haven't been there on the ground, so I can't say that I've seen these dams with my own two eyes, but I have seen pictures of them. I've seen videos of them. And as far as I can tell, these dams are made of like tarps and sticks. It's like literally wrapping a trash bag around a stick and stretching it. That's what these dams are made of. Well, of course, hearing what these dams are made of, or what it appears these dams are made of, you would think, hey, that doesn't sound good. That doesn't sound like it would hold up. Well, guess what? It didn't. And last night, or yesterday, late afternoon, one of these dams were breached in East Palestine, meaning that the toxic water, the toxic liquids that these dams were holding have now escaped, and they are now pouring into creeks. They are now seeping into the soil. And all of this happened right down the street from like 5 different water wells. I kid you not. Worst case scenario. Look at these photos. This is the dam that I'm talking about. Now, like I said, maybe they did a little more than what I think, but for the most part here, it looks like these dams are basically tarps that they put up to try to keep this liquid from going elsewhere. I cannot begin to even put into words how this makes me feel and how angry this makes me. They know what a serious situation this is. We all know what a serious situation this is. The fact that they made these makeshift dams and they didn't even put any effort into it at all, it's sickening to me. It's disgusting. As you know, they've been saying, hey, the water is safe, the water is safe. We already know the water isn't safe. But guess what? It's damn sure not safe now. In fact, it's even more polluted than what it was. And now we have other water wells that may have not been affected yet that are now definitely going to be affected. It's time to get the people the hell out of this town. But let's go ahead and hop into this article. A dam designed to prevent toxic water contamination in East Palestine has failed. Residents tell 19 News heavy rain has caused Leslie Run Creek to rise and spill over the makeshift dam near the derailment site. 19 News was able to obtain several photos of water from the man-made dam covering the main street area of town. Residents fear the contaminated water may seep into their houses or businesses, causing another level of fear for those who live in the area. Eric Koza says that he's frightened to think about what this new threat could mean. I fear that now the chemical is in the ground, it's going to leach towards the water ducts or aquifer for drinking water. I'm concerned that the park is now contaminated. Kids won't be able to play there or walk through there on their way to school anymore. Koza's family has already been diagnosed by a doctor with chemical irritation or rashes on their skin. With the overflow of water, Koza says the odor of chemicals is back in the air again. I have fear. I've had fear. And now this just puts the anxiety over the top. He says he doesn't know how much more the community can take. They made this dam deep enough to pump the water out of the creek. They called them booms, so it catches the chemicals before it goes further down the creek. Now, obviously, I don't live in this area, but from my understanding, this happened where the Leslie Run Creek and the Sulphur Run Creek actually meet. And there are 5 water wells right nearby that actually draw from ground water. Another citizen actually spoke out as well. His name is Nico Figley. He says that the dam at the park overflowed. I went down to take some pictures, and a few guys in yellow vests from HEPCO pulled up, asked me to leave, said it was super dangerous to be here right now, said they weren't even standing outside next to it. The roadhouse better hope it doesn't get much higher, or it'll be in their parking lot. So people in this area are coming to take pictures, videos, what have you. And we got different agencies out there telling them, hey, you need to leave. You need to get out of here. It's dangerous. It's dangerous. Now think about that for a moment. Think about it for just a second. Weren't we just told that this water is safe? Aren't we being told every single day that this water is safe? So it shouldn't be a problem if there's a little flooding, right? It shouldn't be a problem if there's a little flooding because the water is safe. What is there to worry about? This tells you that they're lying. And it's one thing to lie. Like, I don't like liars. But it's one thing to lie to people's faces. And it's another thing to lie and then to contradict yourself and then to lie again and then to contradict yourself over and over again. It's extremely frustrating. For me sitting at home, all the way across the country. I am all the way across the country from this situation. And for me at home, it's frustrating seeing them lie and then change their lies, and then get caught in the lie, and then admit that they were basically lying, and then just lie again. It's crazy to me that people are actually allowed to get away with this stuff, but they are. They're allowed to lie right to our faces. So obviously this water isn't safe. And like I said, this is the worst case scenario possible. Because here we are thinking that at the very least, they're trying to get the situation under control. They're trying to clean the waterways as much as they can. They're shipping out the toxic soil. They're trying, right? Well, now all of that trying means nothing. Because in many ways, we're back to square one again, if not. In fact, I don't think we should say we're back to square one again. I think we're at a worse point now than we were in the beginning. Because now they've managed to store all of this toxic water and they managed to block it with a dam, which I guess you could say is a good thing until that dam fails, until that dam breaks, until that dam is breached, which is what has happened. So we have this dam that was holding back all of this toxicity, all of these toxins, all of these chemicals. They were being held back by the dam, right? And you got to believe that this is highly concentrated chemicals at this point. You know, when you have your rivers and your creeks that are contaminated, at the very least, you know, some of them are still running and the water is moving and it's kind of naturally filtering out some of these chemicals and what have you. Whereas this dam, it's just blocking all of these chemicals in one concentrated area, if you will, right? And it's trying to stop these chemicals from floating into other areas of the waterway. So when this dam breaches, you have all of that buildup that hasn't been able to naturally flow through the water. Just all of that built up and concentrated in one area. And now it's breached, and now it has spilled out. It has spilled out right back into the creeks and into the waterways. It has spilled out and is all over the place because now this area has flooded. So like one of those citizens said, this whole park that's next to this area, now it's off limits. Kids won't be able to play there for years. Kids shouldn't even be walking through that soil to get to school for years. Worst possible case scenario. And let's not even talk about the fact that there are these 5 water wells in close proximity to this whole dam break and flood that's going on right now. All it takes is for some of this water to seep into there, and it's a wrap. And it's a wrap. And honestly, if you ask me, I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of these water wells were already contaminated. And we now know that they've come through and they've put locks on some of these water wells. And I'm really wondering why they're putting locks on these water wells. Because part of me believes that it's not to ensure people's safety, it's to ensure that other people aren't conducting independent tests on the water in these water wells. That's my opinion. That's my opinion. But enough about opinions. We don't even have to go over opinions here. Let's just look at the facts. The facts are they built this makeshift piece of crap dam. I mean, this is something that kids would build outside to play with their G.I. Joes. They built this crappy makeshift dam that failed and broke at the first sight of rain. You know what I mean? It didn't take much. And now we have another catastrophe on our hands. And I can guarantee you all that you're not going to hear much about this. You know, we're all wrapped up in the East Palestine story, but there's still pockets. How can I explain this? This East Palestine story, it's not getting the coverage it deserves, but it's become a big news story. And oftentimes in these big news stories, there's several different news stories that come out of them. Just like here on YouTube. We know about the situation in East Palestine, but I can make several videos a day pointing out different little things that are happening in East Palestine, right? Well, what they're going to do is they know that we're already focused on this story. So they're going to try to keep you focused on other aspects of the story while not blasting it everywhere that, hey, our dam broke and now all of these areas are recontaminated. We have new areas that weren't contaminated that are now contaminated. And all of this toxic chemical waste that was in the water that we have built up over the course of a month or so, right? All of this concentrated toxic waste that we have stored behind this cheap makeshift dam that we built in 3 hours. All of this has spilled out now. Sorry. It's spilled out. It's spilled out into the park. It's spilled out into the creek. It's spilled out into the parking lot. It's spilling out, and now it's probably seeping into the businesses, seeping into people's homes, seeping into people's front yards. And it's just a complete and utter shit show. I don't know what else to call this. But I can guarantee you that they're going to try to downplay what happened with this dam while focusing on other aspects of this story. But this is the most important thing that's happening right now. Like I said, worst possible case scenario. I am a person that tries to look at the bright side of things. Honestly. I'm someone that even in a tragic situation, I try to crack a joke. I try to find the good in anything. And I can't find no good in this story. I can't find any good in this story. And when I say this is the worst case scenario, I say that because it is. Just think about it. All of the work that they've done over the last 3 weeks or so is basically null and void. And now we have areas of this town that are going to be even more so affected than they ever would have been. All because of this dam breaking and releasing all of these toxic chemicals, once again, unleashed onto the town of East Palestine, Ohio. Let me know your thoughts about this, though, down in the comment section. While you're down there, hit the thumbs up button, hit the subscribe button, ring that notification bell, and I'll talk to you all in the next video.